Hi. We are going live today. And I'm so happy that you're here. Today we're looking at how is our period actually a gut health report so that we know how to read it and we know what our period is telling us, right? And I promise you, once you understand this connection, you're going to never look at your period the same way again. If you don't know who I am, I'm Rebecca, a gut plus hormone health practitioner for women, and I help women finally understand their bodies so they can heal naturally, not just freaking manage symptoms and cover them up, because we want to feel good all the time and solve the problems. All right, let's get into the good stuff. First, let me just ask a few questions. Do you ever feel bloated right after your period or right before your period? Do you get moody, emotional, or extra sensitive before your period starts? Do you deal with cravings where it's you feel like an empty trash can that just keeps filling and filling and filling, like Mary Poppins bag, stuff just keeps coming out, except you can just keep putting stuff in with no limits? Do you deal with PMS, acne, cramps, fatigue? Any of these things? Well, here's the truth. They're not random period problems. They are messages, signals, feedback, and most of them are coming from your gut. If you want to dive deeper into your gut issues, I highly suggest joining me on December 19th for my Digestion Demystified workshop so that you can feel good going into the holidays. And then let me just share something about my own journey for you. For years, I think all my life since I got my period when I was 12, 13, I thought my PMS and mood swings were just how I was, just part of being a woman. I thought cravings meant I was weak, had no willpower. I thought my bloating was totally normal. It's just I just ate something wrong. I won't eat that again. But then the more I began to have more and more of these problems and they just started to pile up, I was like, there's no freaking way. This is the way God intended life to be. There's no way. And so then I started studying and learning. And then later on in my master's program, it's I realized this absolutely is not normal. None of it's normal. We don't need to feel bloated or tired or have mood swings or blame the food we're eating for the reason that we are the way we are. It's no, the issue is our body has not been in balance and needs to come back to balance. And once I started fixing my digestion, truly actually supporting it, that's when my periods actually started to shift. My skin got clearer, my mood stabilized, my cravings disappeared, the painful bloating went away, doesn't come back, and I finally felt like myself again. So today, I want to help you interpret your body's signals in the same way. So let's start with the basics. Your gut and your hormones are not separate systems. They are completely inseparable. No matter what anybody tells you, you go to your GP, they just look at your blood work. You go to your OP, they just look at your hormones. They're not looking at both of them together. Time to find a new practitioner because they are absolutely 100% inseparable. Your microbiome, the entire world of little bacteria living inside of you, lives on your skin too, literally helps you manage estrogen and progesterone. If your gut is inflamed, sluggish, or overloaded, your hormones will inevitably be imbalanced. There is absolutely zero exception. So here's how it works, and I think I have a nice little graphic for you. There we go. The path of this, right? So your gut breaks down and eliminates excess estrogen. But if it is not in good working order, it's not going to break it down and eliminate it. Your gut bacteria also regulates inflammation, which is going to affect your cycle, because if your inflammation spikes, then your histamines are going to spike, and then we have all of these problems where people are taking Claritin and Pepcid because the histamines, but what if we just got rid of the inflammation? to begin with, right? So poor digestion equals more stress on your liver equals hormonal chaos. An unhealthy microbiome leads to symptoms like PMS, acne, fatigue, irritability, cravings, the existential doom that some people feel. So if you've ever felt like you're doing everything right, you're checking all of the boxes off, but still struggling, it's time to be like, yo, gut, what you doing? How can I help you? Right? That's what it's time for. And so let's decode the actual report card of like what your period is telling you about what's going on in your gut. Numero uno, heavy bleeding typically is linked to estrogen dominance, which is often caused by slow or stagnant digestion. If you're dealing with PMS or mood swings, this is inflammation, poor nutrient absorptions, and blood sugar issues. So, like I was saying, inflammation rises before your period. Guess what else is rising when inflammation rises? Your histamines. That's why this Pepsid Claritin thing is such a big, like, oh my gosh, it's helping. No, it's just getting rid of the histamines, and it's putting a Band-Aid on the solution instead of you actually fixing the inflammation in your gut, and it drives me freaking insane. And then poor nutrient absorption. Like if you're eating really healthy, but you can't absorb the food, you're not actually getting the nutrients from the healthy food. You might as well just be eating McDonald's. And this is what's leading to PMS and mood swings, is that your gut is a wreck. And so no matter how healthy you are, if you take the right supplements, none of it's going where it needs to go, right? And then if you deal with bloating, especially before your period, your gut is out of balance, needs work. You need to strengthen that digestive fire because it is not strong and it is having problems breaking down the food that you are giving it. If you get period cramps, this is a sign of inflammation. And yes, inflammation starts in the gut. So a good thing for this is the castor oil packs, because starts to lubricate, starts to penetrate, starts to heal, starts to reduce the inflammation, but also eating anti-inflammatory cooling foods that calm the freaking internal fire down, right? Acne and breakouts directly tied to estrogen and progesterone and how well your gut is clearing the hormones. So if your liver and your gut are a wreck, hormones are not getting cleared, you're going to end up with all these problems. And then if you're just tired all the time, fatigue, exhaustion, you sleep 8 hours, but you're still freaking tired, it tells me that your gut and your liver have just pulled an all-nighter probably for the last 90 days. Could you pull an all-nighter for 90 days straight and not be exhausted? So that's the deal, is your liver and your gut need a break, and they need some love, and they need to be able to actually take a rest when you're sleeping instead of having to go run a marathon for you to get the rest of the work done, because it's a disaster area in there. It's almost like, it's like the perfect example is going into a hoarder's home, right? So you walk into a home where somebody's hoarding, so there's not really anywhere to walk. There's shit piled up all the way to the ceilings in every single room. That is what your gut and your liver look like when they're out of order. And so every night you go to bed and you think, I'm sleeping, I'm getting rest, somebody is walking into your house, your body, right? Saying, okay, it's time to do our repair work for the night. Except they're just having to move boxes to make a path to get through and do that all night long. And then you wake up and you do whatever you do during the day, and you probably move your body internally moves the boxes back into the way, and then there's no pathway to walk. And then it's the same thing every night. So the liver and the gut are having to work overtime, which is why you're freaking tired all day, all night. And if they're working overtime like that, they're not able to clear out the toxins. They're not able to detox the body, repair it. And that means you're going to probably gain weight, especially when you're getting into peri and menopause stages. It's like, you got to deal with your gut, or it just, you're going through too many other shifts. It'll just keep happening. So what are the solutions? Well, the solutions are, first, to eat cooked, warm foods. No raw foods, no freaking salads, no ice cream, No iced water, iced coffee, none of it. Cook it all. Put it on the stove, throw it in the oven, throw it in the toaster oven, put it on the grill. Put it on some fire and cook it. Then you want to add some bitter greens like dandelion and arugula. Cook them though. Maybe a little bit of fermented foods or like a probiotic supplement to start replenishing the gut, like help send some good guys in there to fight off what's going on. You want fiber-rich vegetables cooked in lots of healthy fats. Lots of fats, lots of butter, ghee, olive oil, avocado oil, any of these things, load it up. Healthy fats help your hormones be in proper production. We've been taught for so long, oh, don't have fat, pick the zero fat thing. Well, if you read the freaking ingredients on something that has zero fat, they just added a bunch of, I don't even know what the frick, lab-made stuff, and it's worse for you. We need the fat. We need the fat. Women, you need the fat. We need it to produce our hormones. Our brain needs it so that it can function properly. Add the fat in. Olive oil, avocado oil, ghee, butter if you don't like ghee, but preferably ghee. And then also add in anti-inflammatory herbs like ginger or turmeric, cilantro. All these things help to cool the system down, right? And freaking hydrate yourself. And that doesn't mean drink the dingy tap water. It means actually hydrate yourself. So use like something that has salt, potassium, magnesium in it, whether you buy them yourself or make some yourself. Like personally, I just buy all the minerals in bulk and make my own. It's a fraction of the price because the little packets they sell are like $1 a piece. I can make it for like 5 cents a drink. So I just buy it in bulk. But whatever you want to do, whatever's easiest for you, whatever you have time to do that's actually sustainable and will last you to be able to keep doing it and doesn't feel like torture. Because nobody wants to be like, I'm healthy, but it feels so torturous to do this every day. No, we want it to be enjoyable. We want it to be sustainable. We want it to feel good, right? So if it means buying the electrolyte packets, buy them. If it means I want to make my own and have all these crazy wild flavors that I enjoy, then do that. Whatever works for you. And avoid all the cold, raw, and ice stuff. I can't, like, even if there's one thing that you get out of this video, just avoid cold, avoid raw, avoid ice. Because it is putting out your digestive fire and making it impossible for your digestion to do anything. Ayurveda teaches us that your digestive fire is the foundation of your health. When digestion weakens, every single system in the body is going to suffer. Modern research now proves the same thing we've been saying for over 5,000 years. Your gut microbiome influences your hormones, your mood, your metabolism, your cycle health, your immunity, and even your sleep. Ayurveda has known this for thousands of years. When your digestion is strong, your cycle is strong. So it all comes back to digestion. So we can sit here and say, my hormones are broken. I have PMS. I have PMDD. I have this. I have PCOS. Well, the first step, no matter which disorder Western medicine has labeled you with, is to look at your digestion, because it's not just the digestion of your gut that we, see, right? Like this is like what everyone thinks digestion is this part right here. But the reality is we're digesting on a cellular level. We're digesting the food we eat, the thoughts we have, the emotions we feel, the things we hear, we see. All these things have to get digested. So our digestion needs to be strong because we live in a pretty wild world these days. And the news shows us things that we weren't seeing 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, right? And so we need our digestion to be strong. That means taking care of mind, body, soul on a digestive level. But so here's the things you can do today to start improving your gut. And like I said, eat warm cooked foods, all warm, all cooked. All of them. Sip on hot water or herbal teas throughout the day. Stop freaking snacking. Set a time for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If 2 hours after breakfast you're hungry again, then have an apple. If an apple doesn't sound good, then you're actually not hungry. You're just bored or emotionally eating. And then have lunch at noon, then have dinner at 6. Eat your biggest meal at lunch. This one is the hardest one. It's the hardest one. My husband's not home for lunch. He's home for dinner. I don't want to just eat a light soup for dinner and not spend any time together, right? And I don't have time in the middle of the day to make a massive lunch. But you start making the shift, and I promise when you do it and you have lunch be your biggest meal and then dinner is something lighter, you will feel way better, because then when you go to sleep, you're not having to digest the giant steak you had for dinner. You can digest the things that were not digested throughout the day. You can rest, you can repair, you can detox while you sleep instead of having to digest your freaking dinner while you sleep. Reduce caffeine, especially before your period. Reduce your alcohol intake. Increase magnesium and healthy fats. So magnesium can come from the foods you eat. Dark chocolate has a lot of it, and so do other foods. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a supplement. And then reduce your stress, because your gut freaking feels it. So meditate, pray, journal, go on a walk, do something. All these small shifts, it's like, oh, that sounds too simple. Just give me a pill, because that's what it'd be so much easier. But these small shifts are what's going to make the biggest change for you. I promise you. I just spent 3 days in a hormone challenge going over these small shifts, and people are already seeing a huge difference in it. So I highly recommend just doing the small shifts and noticing the difference. Warmed foods, hot water, do that for 3 or 4 days. I guarantee you'll notice your digestion is already skyrocketing. And so if you want to go deeper into what else can be done for your digestion, then on the 19th, literally 7 days away, I'm hosting another workshop. It's an hour long, and it's going to be all about your gut and how to heal it, how to notice what's going on with it, and correct the problem on the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual level, because we're digesting on all levels. We don't just digest food. So come join me and dive into the workshop so that you can start having a healthier gut before all of the holiday madness. So thanks for watching. Typically, I do this Thursdays at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, but I had a thing yesterday and I had to take off, and I still wanted to get on here. And so here we are. And then I think next week so next week we will be here Thursday, 1 p.m. Then we're going to take 2 weeks off for the holidays, and we'll be back fresh in January. So yeah, thanks for joining, and we will see you next time.